I want to close out this video by addressing a common question that I come across both online and in my personal life. Why do you care so much? Why do you care if they completely butcher a character's arc? Why do you care if a fantasy TV show leaves a water bottle blatantly in shot? Why do you care if you have to listen to clunky dialogue? It's just a film or TV show, right? Well, there are several answers to that question, and I hope the following rant will give you something to chew on. Human beings have been telling stories to each other since the dawn of, well, humankind. From rudimentary cave paintings to mythic poems to books to film, one thing that binds us all together regardless of race, culture and technology is our desire to tell stories. I would argue that it is a core trait of being human, and in some form or another everyone wants to tell and listen to stories, and I think it will be that way until the end of time. Stories are not only things to entertain us and help pass the time. They are vehicles of teaching and instruction, a way for us to pass wisdom down to future generations and educate them on our history, both good and bad. Great stories have moral lessons to teach us and help us improve ourselves as a person. They can give us insights into kinds of people who we might not have had much exposure to otherwise, thus increasing our empathy and our ability to communicate with those different from ourselves. Stories can help us understand our emotions and feelings in a way that we may not have otherwise been able to. They can help us to realize what makes us joyful, what makes us somber, and what makes us terrified. Sometimes they can even help us process our past and current traumas. Truly great stories inspire us to pursue careers, break boundaries, invent new technologies. Characters who we become attached to can act as role models for us to emulate, and this can be incredibly important for those who don't have the privilege of having a positive role model in real life. So yeah, given all of that, I think stories are pretty important, and I would much rather experience good ones than bad ones. When great stories are produced and given to people, I would hope that they are written with care and that the creators don't treat us all like idiots with tiny attention spans. It can thus be very frustrating to see a film or TV show try to impart a message and fail miserably to the point that it accidentally teaches the opposite. I would point at the disastrous Karen movie that, while being subjectively very entertaining, ends up creating negative stereotypes about black people and women. It can be very frustrating when a film or TV show aims to provide an immersive escape from the real world and then ends up shoving politics down the viewer's throat unnecessarily. And no, that is not me critiquing any particular branch of politics, it is just a statement about there being a right time and a right place to explore those topics. It can be very frustrating when we follow a character's journey to becoming a better person and they randomly 180 and fail in that arc for no other reason than shock value. Time is precious, and we should spend it consuming well-written media that is engaging and communicates its ideas effectively. There is nothing wrong with having standards and being critical of film and TV as long as those criticisms are based in objectivity and logic rather than in pure emotion. I know that for many people, TV and film is just a time to switch off your brain and just be entertained by action scenes, or sometimes you just want a simple story that doesn't require much deep thought to enjoy. But hey, you know that you can have both, right? There are plenty of great action films or stories with simple plots that are expertly written to be enjoyed by both the casual and hardcore filmgoer. Off the top of my head, I'd recommend Die Hard, or the original Indiana Jones trilogy, or Dredd, or Hot Fuzz. We can absolutely have our cake and eat it too, but again this requires writers and directors to actually put effort into, the writing. If we as fans and critics just nod along with the next mediocre or shitty film that gets thrown at us and don't voice valid criticisms against them, then surprise surprise, we'll just keep receiving mediocre and shitty films.